Past 6 months in business have changed everything for me. And in the past two, I've spent more time around other 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs than ever before. Now, when you're constantly at masterminds and events, you tend to leave with some gems. I'm Abid. I run Odyssey, a client acquisition agency helping businesses grow and scale. But this video isn't about the ins and outs of marketing or advertising. It's about the few key things I've picked up in business and in life from being in the rooms.
Now, the real value wasn't so much their strategy or tactics, but more so me being able to vicariously learn from the lessons and the things that they've already been through and apply that to my life and into my business as well. But not just that. It was also about understanding the way that they thought. So I'm just going to go into these key lessons that shifted my perspective over this mastermind, and I'm going to go ahead and take into my life going forward. So the first one was something that Rob Lipset said, and I don't know if it was verbatim, but it went along the lines of, you are the unfair advantage. You are the unique advantage. And what kind of made me think was, when it came to content or business in general, everyone's trying to fit into a specific mold. Everyone wants to emulate Iman Gaji, Daniel Dalen, whoever the fuck it might be, right? But everyone's trying to emulate something that they're not. But with what Rob was saying is, you are the unfair advantage. You are the unique advantage. And you can literally only run your own race. That's it. You can't fit into someone else's mold. You can't try to be something that you're not. You can't try to be anyone else but you. I'm Abid Rahman. The best person who knows how to be Abid Rahman is Abid Rahman. It's kind of simple, and it kind of goes off of that. Especially in entrepreneurship and the online space as a whole, it's so easy to look at the things and the content that other people are putting out there and like getting the shiny object syndrome and wanting to be just like them. You might see the Ferraris, you might see the Lambos, you might see all of these like luxury lifestyles and the businesses that they have behind them and the offers that they're running. But again, you are the unique advantage. You are the unfair advantage. So lean into it. You can only run your own race, right? And kind of goes on to the follow-on thing about trying to fit into that mold, because the more you try fit into that mold, it's like you're squishing yourself into some cookie cutter template that isn't prescribed for you. Now, let's say you do that, you go ahead and do that, you find a template, you want to become like, just like, I don't know, whoever it is, you're trying to emulate someone. So you find their template and you try to smash every single bit of you, every single part, every single unique little aspect that you as an individual, you as an entrepreneur have, and you're trying to push it into this cookie cutter template, right? But you realize it doesn't fit. It wasn't meant for you. It wasn't your race. It wasn't your template. It wasn't you, because they may have advantages or disadvantages in different areas, or the only way you'll understand what the mold is by using your own. And that's as raw as it can get. Now, you can't grow into your own, or you come into your own as an entrepreneur or a person, if you're trying to focus and put yourself in this cookie cutter template that someone else has prescribed to you. You are meant to build and expand as you grow. So when you put yourself into these kind of environments or modes of thinking where you want to be just like someone else, then it's inauthentic and it's just not you. It's simply just not you. It's effectively applying constraints to yourself that don't necessarily need to be there. The bottom line is, the longer you focus and obsess over doing that mask that you're putting on, the thing that you're faking and trying to be, will eventually fade away. Because whether it's 6 months down the line, whether it's a year down the line, whether it's 2 years down the line, you can only wear that mask for so long. You can only do things that are inauthentic and not yours for so long. You can't pretend to be someone else forever. And I think that's the beautiful part about you are the unique advantage, you are the unfair advantage, because the things that you have in your life, the things that your lived experiences, your belief systems, everything that you've got, they're yours, right? So that makes you a unique person, and that makes everything that you do in business, especially entrepreneurship, a lot more unique. It makes it a lot more special, because no one can approach problems just like the exact same way that you do. No one can approach problems the exact same, the Abid Rahman way, right? There are methods and frameworks, yes, that people go ahead and put out there, but on a real, it's you are the unfair advantage. So to tie it all back together, make sure that you run your own race and you understand that you are the unfair advantage. Trying to be like something else or someone else just won't work. So yeah, that was the first thing, and it's actually one of the reasons why I've gone ahead and decided, you know what, I'm going to film this YouTube video, or whatever video this turns out to be, whatever platform, right? And I just wanted to put out there, because no one can be Abid Rahman, no one can be you, no one can be anyone else, right? We can only be ourselves. So trying to apply that into business and how I approach a content, for example, is going to be another thing that is going to be a focus of mine. So yeah, that was the first point of you are the unfair advantage. And the second point, comparison will kill you. And you'll find that throughout this video, a lot of these points are intertwined and flow into each other well, right? But this is a kind of distinct point in and of itself. Now, comparing yourself with people who are maybe ahead of you and have more time in the game is a quick way to feel shit about yourself and to be demotivated. And it's futile. It is futile. It sets you up for failure and it enhances expectations that don't need to be there. No one told you you were going to get to X in Y amount of time. That's just an expectation that you've applied upon yourself. God didn't tell me I'm going to do this. Inshallah, whatever I put in front of it, as long as I do the work, will happen. But that's the missing point. It's like comparison will kill you. And it's not to say it's going to go smash a hatchet into your skull when you're going ahead and going to sleep and having a good night's rest. It's not going to do that. But what it will do is degrade you over time. You look at your current situation with the information that you have about everything that you've done so far, and you look at someone else and look at their current situation without even seeing everything that goes on behind the curtain and thinking that their situation is better than yours, but the grass isn't fucking greener. It's not greener. Like, their grass isn't greener, and your grass, even though it might be brown, it might have been unwatered for however many months, whatever, the grass might not even be greener. And I don't know what entrepreneur said this, but it's green where you water it, right? So looking at your patch of brown grass, maybe it needs a little bit more time, maybe it needs a little bit more nurturing, right? And looking at someone else's patch of green, the small little patch of green that you've seen, will just make you feel like you're behind when you're not behind at all. You're just in a different race. You're running your own race and you're on your own time, right? So comparison, when objectively, makes no sense, because you, with all of your experiences, knowing every single thing that you've done day in and day out for your business, for whatever it is that you're striving to achieve, and trying to compare against someone else's, maybe it's their like lap 150 and you're on lap 1. It makes no sense, because then you're just setting expectations for no reason, and it'll just kill you. It will just damage you. And comparison is the thief of joy, and all you need to do is just be grateful and stay in your own lane. So yeah, comparison is the fastest way to feel behind in a race that was never yours to run. You haven't lived their life, they haven't lived yours. So measuring yourself by someone else's scoreboard or scorecard is just absolutely stupid. So try not to compare yourself against other entrepreneurs or other people is something that I'm going to go ahead and try and internalize. Number 3, guard your energy. Guard your fucking energy. Now, not everyone deserves access to you, and it's not to say you need to be arrogant and aloof and cold-shouldered. That's not to say at all. But what it does mean is, if you don't protect your mental real estate or your headspace, someone else will try to rent it for free. So they'll try and be a squatter, right? But yeah, energy leaks are real, and when you're trying to build something that demands a lot of your mental time and effort and energy, one thing that I've learned from these high-level entrepreneurs is that guarding your energy becomes much more and more important. And not just about guarding your energy from people, but guarding where your attention goes. Now, where focus flows, energy goes. Now, this one might ruffle some feathers, but you can't spend too much time with people who aren't operating on the same level as you. And it isn't about being judgmental and standoffish. That's not the case. You need to be kind and courteous to everyone, pretty much. That's the kind of rule of life. Or a rule that I apply and all Muslims apply. Maybe not all Muslims, but hey. But what actually tends to happen when you aren't surrounded by the right people is that your conscious energy and your willpower, let's say, is clouded and affected by other people's emotional poison, right? And that can be quite burdensome when you're trying to build something of your own. And what I mean by other people's emotional poison is their limiting beliefs. It could be views that they hold about themselves, that they hold about specific things that aren't really conducive to growth. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help them, it doesn't help anybody, but it's a limiting belief that they will project out into a wider environment without even knowing it. Like, sometimes it's unconscious. This emotional poison is thrown out in an unconscious way. And if you want to learn a little bit more about that, This book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, is super cool and goes into that in a little bit of depth. So shameless plug, I'm not Don Miguel Ruiz. You can read the book if you want to. It's a great book. I'd recommend it. And the other part of this is getting dragged into pity parties or endless requests for information, right? They might mean well, and you might initially be happy to help. You're happy to give more information, give someone else a supporting hand, tell them and show them through a problem that you've already faced, right? That's amazing. But unless there's a exchange of value, whether it's hanging out, whether it's happiness or whatever it is, unless there's that sort of value exchange piece, what will tend to happen is people will abuse the privilege that you've given of sharing information and sharing your energy. So you have to establish boundaries, otherwise it'll lead to quiet or unwanted resentment. Now, it isn't to say you need to absolutely eradicate and say I hate you and I never want to speak to you again to people who aren't operating on the same level as you, but it means that you need to focus on having a good unit, and your good core unit is people of your kind of trusted band of advisors, your knights of the round table, whatever you want to call it, right? A good unit isn't meant to drag you down. It isn't supposed to project limiting beliefs onto you, and it isn't about having a crew of dick swinging yes men who are going to absolutely rejoice at everything that you say and every idea that you have. You effectively just need a circle of people who aren't afraid of telling you to shut the fuck up and to tell you that you're being stupid. And the way that you do that is by guarding your energy and keeping the right people around you. So that was a third point about guarding your energy when it comes to business and in life.
And these are just a handful of lessons I've picked up along the way. So if you've enjoyed this video, stick around for the next one.